Okay, thank you, Jim. He does a great job as president, right? And this is 2 years. So he also did a panel for us. He was our panelist on the Freedom Summer of '64. So you're blessed to have a president like that, and the talent you have in this room is really great as well. Also this year, I'd like to thank Jim, the entire MPA and the LPA board, the Louisiana Mississippi Associated Press Managing our Media Editors Association is having its meeting in conjunction, and our awards in conjunction with your event this year. We'll do it again in New Orleans next year. And just for in New Orleans, all right. At 2:30 p.m. after this event, we'll have a general membership meeting for any AP members down in Ballroom G. We'll talk a little about what AP is doing, and also you can meet our news editor in the back. Brian, if you step up, Brian Schwanner is our news editor for Kentucky and Louisiana, Louisiana and Mississippi. Getting my states mixed up. And we will talk about that. And then we have our awards program starting at 3:30 with another cocktail reception. We can't have enough of those here. And then we'll have 4 p.m. the actual awards. But what you're seeing on the screen here, every day we have members across the country donating or contributing, sharing thousands of images with the AP to go out to the rest of our membership. And what we're looking at here are some of the examples of the best photos from Mississippi this year, which are shared by members. They came from all parts of the state, and from the Clarion Ledger down to the Meridian Star, to the Daily Mississippian up at Ole Miss. And we normally each year try to honor the best one. Our staff votes on the Mississippi AP Photo of the Year. We had hundreds to choose from this year that were basically news photos that are shared, what we consider in cycle, so they're shared in real time or used by members of both TV and broadcast, depending on the restrictions on the image. Most everyone, there's no outing here that I'm aware of, so these are truly a sort of a foundational part of what AP is, which is a cooperative at heart. And so the winner of this year's award is Ryan Moore from the Hattiesburg American, for an image that he took at a trial in his hometown of a woman, Laura Taylor, showing a photo of her 95-year-old grandmother that she addressed the 2 men who killed her. And it was at their sentencing last September. And it's our staff basically considered it one of the more powerful news images of the year coming out here. Ryan will receive, and actually this is the 2nd year in a row he's won the award. He won last year. And this is by both my staff. They don't know who's really the photos are from. He will receive $300, and the image moves on our AP Photo Stream Service Wire. And he won't win next year because he actually has gone to work at the local TV station in Hattiesburg now, I believe. So I know Tracy Fowler's not happy. But he's a very good photographer, though, and Hattiesburg also has some additional ones. And we'd like to thank, on behalf of AP, all the contributions we get from our members, both text and images. Aaron Kosnak, if you're here, if you come up and accept the award from him, I'd appreciate it. Erin's the managing editor of the Hattiesburg American. She also serves on the state APME board. And also, for the Mississippi participants, I know there are a number of them here today. Matt Williamson, John Scott, they're also on our APME board. Can you stand up real quick and get recognized? We appreciate that. Matt is our current president, and John Scott's serving the board. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We appreciate the AP, and that's a great award. We're going to go a little out of order right now, and you can eat in just a minute. But each year it's the president's privilege to single out one member of the association and recognize him or her for their outstanding contribution to our organization. This year the President's Award goes to a man who's been one of our longest serving board members. In fact, he's gone above and beyond what is normally asked of any member, coming back to fill an important slot when we lost a couple of board members last year. Reese, you can start making your way up here. Reese Terry. There are few members who are as solid an example of service as Reese Terry is, the publisher of the Daily Corinthian in Corinth. He served on the board from 2004 to 2011. He served as president in 2011. And he graciously and dependably answered the call twice to come back and serve and help stabilize the board. A few other members travel as frequently and as far as Reese does because he's MPA. He often leaves Corinth before dawn, and he's headed back in the afternoon about the time most of us are getting together somewhere to have a beverage. But for those of you who have not made that trip before, it's a long way to Corinth from anywhere. He's been a reliable and calm voice of leadership, and one whose service is valued greatly by our board and by the staff and the entire membership here today. So Reese, I'm deeply grateful to you for your service to the organization and for the help, wisdom, and guidance you have shared with your fellow directors for the last decade. So we're not going to put you out the pasture, but we just want to say that we thank you, and it's my privilege to present to you the President's Award for 2014. The rest of the program, we've obviously combined the President's Banquet with the Awards Banquet, and we're going to finish up the President's part of it with the going away, and then we'll move into the awards part of it. Once again, I'm Jim Prince. I'm editor and publisher of the Neshoba Democrat in Philadelphia, Mississippi, and president of Prince Newspapers. Welcome again, and I will proceed, and we will be done with this. I am grateful, very grateful to the Lord for the many opportunities that He has given, but I'm particularly grateful and thankful for the privilege of serving the Mississippi Press Association these past 2 years as your president. I'm probably a very unlikely person to have gone into journalism. Since the invention of the automobile, our family has been in the oil and gas distribution business, and I went off to Mississippi State thinking that's what I was going to do. But when I was 15, my parents had bought me a camera, and then I became editor of the Reflector and got a job at the Democrat, and so that's when I really got hooked. But it's a blessing to be in this profession, and I'm grateful to you all for the opportunity. And to my family, I could not be more grateful. It's not always easy because you know the emails and phone calls and the Facebook posts that you get. So I'm thankful that they put up with me. Dad says, son, if you'll just tell the truth, I don't have a problem. And coming from an 83-year-old dad, that's a pretty strong thing for him to do. And so I appreciate that. The people of Prince Newspapers are just incredibly talented and dedicated, and they've seen to it that I've had the time to serve the MPA. And you might have already noticed this year with Debbie, probably one of the most dedicated people in our profession is not here. She's home battling breast cancer, but she's fighting it like a champ, as you might all imagine. And she tuned up when I asked her how she was doing, and she really hated she wasn't going to be here on the coast to see everyone. But even in her battle, she's still working and serving very hard. But obviously, I couldn't do what I do if it weren't for folks like Debbie and Michael and Catherine. Have a weeks-old son in Madison, and some of our contest winners are in Philadelphia today for the 50th anniversary of the civil rights murders. 50 years ago today, 3 young men were murdered in Neshoba County for registering blacks to vote, and there's a big commemoration going on today, and so we felt like somebody needed to stay in town and cover that little event, and so they're not here to accept their awards. But those murders are a scourge, but it's important that we remember them so that we don't repeat the past. And I want you to know, and for all my staffers to know, how important they are and how much I appreciate their commitment. And all the way from the editors to the folks in the mailroom who take it very seriously, their responsibility to get the papers out on time. It's been a privilege to serve with one of the most accomplished boards that we've ever had, and I truly expect that you're going to hear great things out of this bunch if they can behave. But And there's not a finer executive director in the country who knows newspapers like Lane Bruce does, and so we're very fortunate to have Lane and staff and have him in our midst. And during my 2 terms, I've had a great opportunity to get to know the staff, Monica, Andrea, David, and Beth, and they're good folks, and we're glad to have them. They keep the trains running on time, and so we appreciate all that y'all do. When I was 10, I put out a newspaper on my dad's copier, and that's one of the reasons I'm up here today. Well, it was before the Macintosh, so I cut out letters out of the daily paper and made my headlines out of that, and then used my mother's typewriter, and I used a lot of whiteout. But that's really how I got into business. When I was 15, as I said, my parents bought me a Pentax K1000. I don't know if any of you all remember what one of those, but it was a basic camera. And Stanley Dearman hired me at the Neshoba Democrat to work for the paper of the year. It turned 100. It would have been it was founded in 1881, so it was in 1981, which would have been my senior year, going into my senior year of high school. And they bought me a darkroom set, and I developed a lot of pictures, and there's still boxes of all kinds of pictures that I took. But journalism is a good fit for me because I'm naturally curious. I was always asking questions of the kids and constantly bugging my parents. I took every electronic device in the house apart because I was just interested in it. And I even wired our treehouse with electricity. But I probably should have been an electrical engineer. I still like asking questions, and I think what's so fascinating about this business is that we get to learn a little about a lot of things, and that's really what I enjoy. Growing up, going to the Neshoba County Fair, I think instilled in me an interest in politics, which fits well with this profession. I saw Ronald Reagan when I was 16, and outside of the Ministry of Medicine, journalism is the most highly rewarding and satisfying career that there is. Good reporting still matters. We're called to speak the truth to power. And if you ever doubt that calling, just remember that we were elected by the Constitution. We're the fourth estate, the watchdog of government. The founders carved out a special privilege that no one anywhere else in the world has, and use that privilege to do good, to do the right thing. And if you're not the watchdog of government in your community, you're failing our profession. Some of you are in far outposts. You're the only one. You're the lone voice, like a peach farmer in South Alabama without rain. Your community depends on you. And keep the faith. The free press is a part of the very fabric of our republic. Your newspaper is necessary, and what you say matters. More than 1.5 million people read a newspaper. And I think that's how I began my term. And you've heard the news that nobody reads newspapers anymore. It's a digital world. But your board has had the wisdom to invest in this marketing video that I hope most of you have already seen. If you've not, you can go to powerandprint.ms and download it and share it with your advertisers. But Mississippi newspapers aren't just surviving, they're thriving. And some are reporting record growth. More than 7 of 10 adults are active newspaper readers. With those kinds of numbers, the key to our survival is actually marketing that, changing the way we do things. We're not used to marketing newspapers. We've never had to do that like we're going to have to now. But we're going to have to market newspapers like they market Coca-Cola and Budweiser markets beer. The new animation that Godwin got is getting attention. Even Godwin himself said they had given up on print before they engaged with us. And that's an important thing for us to realize, that if we've not convinced and sold groups like the Godwin Agency, we're not doing our job. So this video and the survey and all that is going to be very important for us to tell that story. Those who go into public service or journalism out of a selfish sense of vanity often fail because they are miserable. And those who persevere in politics and journalism are usually motivated by a sense of service. So service above self. He profits most who serves best is the Rotary motto, and I find that's a good motto for newspaper people as well. 3 quick things. I'm going to get out of your hair. Courage, strength, and perseverance. Courage to do the right thing, even if it's unpopular. Your newspaper, especially the editorial page, is the heart and soul of your community. So speak and have a voice. Strength to carry on. Some days our job is difficult, but draw your strength from the Lord, because Christ alone is sufficient. And my favorite hymn goes, "Nothing in my hands I bring, simply to the cross I cling." Perseverance. Persevere to the end, fight the good fight, never flinch, never give up. Always print the truth without fear or favor. Thank you all very, very much for the incredible privilege of serving as the 141st President of the Mississippi Press Association. At the stockholders meeting yesterday, and there's not a finer weekly in the state, perhaps the country, the size of their paper that Joel and Lisa put out. It's a fine paper. It's got a soul. It's got a personality, because they write columns and they cover board meetings, and I think that you'll see Joel tweeting about the Chicken Bone Fire Department going out to a call. So it's just an entertaining paper to read, and they're doing what we all ought to do better. Joel is not here today. Lisa McNeese, who's a past president of the association, had a childhood friend named Carrie. And Carrie has been battling cancer, and if you know Lisa, Lisa spent a lot of time, a whole lot of time. The last couple of weeks have been very difficult. They let us know that they may not be able to come this year, but they ended up coming on down Wednesday night. But we were at dinner, and Lisa got a call that things were not looking good. So they struck out, headed back to Calhoun City to be there just in case something happened. And Carrie went home to be with the Lord this morning. So it was appropriate for Joel and Lisa to be there. And Carrie's family grieves, but they don't grieve without hope, and the hope of the resurrection. And so as we conclude the convention, let's keep Lisa and Joel and Carrie's family in our prayers, because she's got children and a whole bunch of things involved. But Joel would love to be here, and this is where I'm supposed to turn the gavel over to him. But I think we're going to give it to Don, or Don's going to give me something. So this is our vice president, so there is a transition of power. I'm not taking over.
Jim admitted he's been here for 2 terms. But does anybody know what that really means? 1,051,200 minutes. So he's the 1 million man. And this is on behalf of the board of directors and the membership. Thank you for everything you sincerely with this organization.